Well, we're back. I need a hat. Okay, we're back. The sun is very bright. I thought I would try to run you through kind of my morning routine. For those of you who want to know what it's like living out of your truck, while I answer the question, am I safe living alone out here in the desert or anywhere in my truck? So we've got Thor and Haven in their little container so they can stay safe. There is a coyote running around right now who's apparently very friendly, but they will run after it and chase it. So that's not okay. We've got breakfast half made, so I'm going to finish making their breakfast. So there's going to be noises from me walking and stuff, but we're going to work on their breakfast. Whoops. And this morning I am making them eggs. And let's see if we can get that. So the whole breakfast is a ridiculous routine that I have going here. It is filled with 30 trillion little separate steps that I have to take over the course of my morning. But if I don't feed us, none of us feel good. And they aren't safe if I do not get protein in the morning. I reorganized everything yesterday, so I don't remember where I put things. And part of that is because I need to go to town. We are out of dog food. So that said, step one, let's feed the dogs. And she hasn't been feeling good, so we are going to attempt to do eggs for her right now because I'm trying to keep her bland until we figure out what's going on with her. I'm curious of how much noise this is going to be. Oh, you know what? See, I already forgot I used all the butter. Hold on. This is why it takes so long, because like you're not just in a kitchen where everything is just handy dandy. The reason you see me disappearing behind the truck is because there's only one little tiny place that the sun don't shine while for the cooler, trying to keep it semi-cool. So that's why you see me disappearing behind the truck. There's one tiny narrow thing. Oh man. So somebody just called that interrupted your audio. So let's make some breakfast for the boy dogs and the girl dogs. So the question is, am I safe as a woman living out here alone? And if you normally watch all these videos, they'll tell you how awesome it is to be alone as a woman, and you're free and you get to do all this stuff, and how everybody's friendly, and it's the best choice we ever made, and that's true. But if you've learned anything about me, I am the voice of doom, because I tend to live in a world, and as I said, I filter through a hyper safety mode. And so, what I noticed in the comments was, see if I can multitask. Probably not. If there's anything I've learned about myself lately, is my brain has degenerated and I can't multitask anymore. But the comments were focused on stranger danger, right? Bad things happening to people, being broken into. And I totally get that, because I actually had an experience not too long ago in which somebody drove up to warn me, and they were, trying to help me out. They drove up to my truck in one of those outdoor vehicles. I have egg on my hand. And they were trying to tell me that there was people running loose in the desert that had, the story I got was there were 6 guys running around, and those they caught 3 of them, and the Border Patrol was out looking for the other 3. And I wasn't actually parked that far away from where it happened. And, the thought that I had was, well, if there's 3 guys running around looking for a way to drive out of the desert, what better way to do that than us with my truck, which happened to have been all packed up at that moment in time. And it would be perfect, because I had my little safety bubble pop, right? Hey, I don't know what they're barking at. Because if there's 3 guys coming after me from my truck, there's not a lot I can do about that. And that was right at about the time, a few days, it was a week ago, when the police officers all got beat up by those little tiny teenage boys. There's the coyote. Somehow the coyote has friends with the guy that's parked over there, because I saw it outside with him and his dog, and they were all like within a few feet of each other. So I don't know if he feeds it, but see, not safe, because while that coyote's probably not going to hurt my dogs intentionally, there you are, right? They don't know that. They're going to run up and it's going to be a fight, because we've already had one fight. So that's enough for me. But it's a guy who's made friends with the coyote, as far as I can tell. So anyways, I decided to leave, and I bounced around a little bit, but I had my bubble popped. I did not feel safe. I was in a remote spot. Nobody could see me. And I was nervous about the fact that, see, he did that all morning yesterday. I was nervous about the fact that these illegal guys were running around, and there was 1 of me and 3 of them. So no, I did not feel safe, even though I am theoretically prepared for stranger danger. The second thing that I want to talk about that is, there's this illusion of safety, because now I am surrounded by people pretty far away, but if I screamed loud enough or I blew my whistle, they could probably hear me. But really old couple, really old guy, I don't know who that is. There's a younger guy kind of walking back and forth, but why would they run up to quote unquote save me, right? I mean, they can't hardly walk. In what universe? And they're going to call 911, and who's going to come running outside, or who's going to come driving back here to save me? So that's the second illusion that I think we have about all that. And so at a practical level, the big fear is someone going to stalk me because they can see I'm a single woman? But the truth is you've got all these like hundreds of $1,000 versions of RVs and motorhomes. You're going to really try and rob me, or you're going to wait till one of these expensive RV or motorhome people drive away and break into their motorhome? I don't know about you, but I don't look like I have very much, unless I'm somebody who's trying to escape the law. Then a 4-wheel truck to me looks like a super awesome deal. So this idea, are we safe? No, but that's not even the real question. The real issue for me isn't, are we safe from stranger danger? The real question to me is just, period, am I safe as a woman alone? And the answer is not even a little bit. So here's the part where I'm going to tell you stuff that you don't want to hear. And I never hear anybody talk about this. And this is the stuff I think about all the time. I am one mechanical issue away from living on the street, right? My car breaks down. This is my house, and I am 600 miles away from my trailer with all my important things are in the car, right? This is kind of hot, kids, so you're not going to be too excited about this. I am one medical issue away. Like, yeah, I might go to the hospital, but these guys go to the shelter, or they'll get lost on the street out here in the desert, right? I am one bad decision like the time my car battery died, or if I ran out of water, or if I got lost and fell down. Sometimes when I go out in the morning in the dark, if I turn the flashlight off, I can't see anything, and I have to reorient myself. Even with the flashlight, sometimes I get disoriented and kind of lost. I am one slight mistake or bad decision away from just disaster. And it terrifies me. So when people say, "Oh, this is awesome," and "Yay, I live in my truck or my van or my RV or my trailer," the good thing about having a truck and a trailer is that even if something happens to your vehicle, you still, can you guys hear that? You still kind of have a place to live. This is very scary, but I did this intentionally. So there's a couple reasons why I did this that are just as terrifying. And one is I just don't have the physical strength to really manage. Even this tires me out. Like, I do not have the physical capability of being productive in the system anymore. I'm not on Social Security. I'm not eligible yet. I'm getting closer, but I can't make enough money and in a normal, productive way. I can't get a job. I tried to do the therapy thing that just didn't align with all the, internet and stuff like that. So that terrifies me. I can't take care of us properly anymore. So I wanted to see if I could physically manage this level of survival, because the horse trailer was too much. It was just too much work. I couldn't do everything. I couldn't do off grid. I couldn't chop wood. I couldn't carry water. I couldn't navigate through winter anymore. This is manageable, but it's terrifying. We're so close to the edge. The second reality is that the only reason I can live like this and every other nomad is because the system still exists. There's still 911. There's still AAA to come pick me up. There's still water things I can go fill up. I can go to the grocery store. I can go to the laundromat. And for now, we're not so afraid of each other that most strangers, neighbors, are kind enough to help you out. When my battery died, the guy parked next to me gave my truck a jump. It wouldn't be like that if the lights were out and we were in a free for all. The only reason anyone can be free as a nomad is because the system is in place with online banking and resources and everybody else that's out in the system producing, that allows us to live like this. Now, is that fair? That's a whole different discussion, which we're not going to cover today. That's just the way it is. I have worked my entire life. Even though I haven't made money working, I never stop trying to produce, but I don't produce income in the way normal people do. So that was my choice. These are my consequences. So that's just real. And people don't want to hear that part. They want to hear, this is fun, this is awesome, I get to do what I want, no one tells me what to do. A lot of that is true, but that brings me to the third problem with all this. Am I safe? Well, I was never safe living with anybody else either. Every time I have tried to connect or cooperate with somebody else in their home, which means they own the land or they own the house, it is an inequitable distribution of power. So the only way I can be safe is I have to give myself up and follow their rules. Their house, their rules, right? We remember what it was like as children. And I can't do that because I can't do that. So the other thing that happens with that is they change their mind. It doesn't matter if there's a legal document. When somebody changes their mind, their house, their rules, you have to leave. Or they make a decision, they bring somebody else into the fold, or they sell, or they get a health problem, right? There's a million things that happen that no longer make it safe to stay with them or capable of staying with them. I think that happens, when people remarry, or, you're single and you have friends and you remarry and it's just never the same. So, it's the bottom line is am I safe living alone as a woman in my truck? Absolutely not. Anybody who tells you that this is a safe lifestyle is ridiculous. It's only a matter of when things are going to go bad, or not if something is going to go bad. And will there be a system and or people to back you up and help you out? I don't know. That's just life. You are no safer in your home, in the suburbs and the cities than you are doing this statistically. The flip side is I can see quite a distance. I'm less likely to have people wandering around the desert because there's no water. So the only people that could come out here to quote unquote rob me are people in a vehicle. And again, I wouldn't rob me. I would rob the people who look like they have a lot of money. So, but I want to be honest about that. I am not safe doing this. They are not safe doing this. And that's just something we don't want to talk about. We don't want to think about. So when I say I'm here with you now to talk about taking ownership. My decision to live like this right now is the best I can do physically. And it's the best I can deal with mentally and emotionally, because I cannot be at the mercy of another human being changing their mind and pulling the rug out from underneath me. And I may be the cause of that, and I may not be. Or it may have nothing to do with me, and I need to pick up and run. But there is no such thing as safety 100%, 24/7, 365. There's only the illusion and how much you want to think about it. And then statistics, and then luck, right? Some people go through their whole life and nothing bad ever happens to them. Some people have bad things happen all the time. So that to me is a different kind of discussion. And we're doing that at the podcast when we talk about our energy and why bad things happen, things like that. But just here on YouTube, having this conversation, am I safe as a woman living alone in my truck with 2 dogs? No. Am I safe anywhere? No. And am I choosing to live with the consequences of this decision? Yes. And that's me taking ownership. Not excited about it, but I've tried everything. And the one thing I can tell you is that if it comes to me being in a safe place with other people, I am the problem. So the best way I can keep other people safe is to not live with them. And that's taking ownership. That gives me peace knowing I'm not hurting other people's feelings, and it keeps them safe from me. Now, that's not true for everybody, but it's true for me. So that is my question, or my answer to this question. Am I safe as a woman living alone in my truck? No. Where I go from here, I have no idea. This is not working. So this is just part one. This is not working. And I believe everybody deserves a safe place to sleep. I believe everybody deserves a safe haven. And those are the questions I'm asking myself right now, because this is unsustainable for me. But I needed to do this to understand how simple do I need to go with the level of energy I have, which is like this. And so I don't have an answer. That's partly what we're going to be exploring. But I just wanted to be honest. Do not delude yourself that you are not like one accident away from total disaster. I used to work as a social worker in an emergency room. Saturday night at midnight, man, that's when people would come in. Tuesday nights at 4 a.m. Nobody is 100% safe. And this is terrifying. But this is all I got. So with that, we're going to take a deep breath, my friends. Links are below. If you want more on the process of all of this, you can join me over at Substack, jillsjournals.substack.com. They have been fed. Next, it's my turn. See you later.